Challenger League. HOMYNO TSUN start the season off right with a win over our new team Ascent. Arthur and Zerar still looked very, very strong for a match they lost, Twiggy.
Yeah, they look really, really good. For their first game in the Challengers League, it's a really strong start. It means that they're coming up against the previous Seed 3 of the league and putting like right up to the end of the series, which is really important. It's a good way to get things going. You don't want to be, you know, the you know, like in the playground or you know, when you go to jail and it's like you're the one that gets picked on. You don't want to be that person. Either way, you don't want to show your weakness. Yeah. Anyway, Ascent getting a really good start. They're going to be looking strong and buff, and they go to the gym all the time, and that's what matters. But HOMYNO TSUN also doing incredibly well just to keep up that, you know, when they got their map taken against them, they needed to get one back. They did that, and that's exactly what we like to see out of these teams. But I'm looking for a real competitive season, and that is really a good start for things.
That completely thrown me off with your metaphor there.
That's what I do.
From playground to jail, I was not ready for.
I mean, there's a similar, you know, there are similarities between the two.
Okay. Yeah, they both have yards. You're absolutely right. Twiggy, this next match, I think, is going to give us a great indicator of exactly how competitive this next season is going to be, because HOMYNO TSUN have just been challenged by the team that came through the promotion tournament, who in theory, you know, with no disrespect to the team, you expect a team coming through a promotion tournament to be sitting near the bottom of a league most of the time, right? That's the expectation. They challenged HOMYNO TSUN, who were a mid-table, third-place team last season, and now HOMYNO TSUN go up immediately against Alternate aTTaX. And if HOMYNO TSUN now challenge Alternate aTTaX, if this is another long, close match, then I think we're set for a very exciting season of Challenger League play.
Yeah, I think so. I think that, okay, so here's the thing. Alternate aTTaX, obviously, last stage we saw were an incredible team. They're a very consistent team. They're not pushing for world records all the time, although Skander is a quick player. They're just very consistent. They haven't had as much practice as a lot of the other teams here in the Challengers League so far. They were playing a lot of events between Stage 1 and Stage 2, so in the All-Stars Championship we kind of saw they weren't as consistent as we expected them to be. Hopefully that's going to have changed between the All-Stars Championship and now, but either way, they're talented enough that I think their skill is going to carry them through that kind of stage where they're not feeling quite as comfortable so far.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you want to talk about teams that maybe didn't quite have the all-stars that maybe we would have expected them to versus how they are now doing in regular season. And, well, Solary, you know, had to start playing even more recently than Alternate aTTaX, and they didn't even make it to the playoff stage of the All-Stars Championship, and there they are doing incredibly well on these same tracks up in the Grand League. So I'm not worried for Alternate aTTaX just yet, but I guess we will see how it looks once they do actually get on track, once they get into game, and we'll see, because there's a little bit of time being taken over by the ban there. It took Alternate aTTaX a second to decide on breaking.
Yeah. Completely different look to the start of the pick ban so far, and again, I love to see it. There are teams with specific maps that they like, and that is great. It means we're going to see a lot of variation throughout the whole season. It means we're going to see teams that are, you know, really good at one thing, and then suddenly, you know, if you're not good at something, you can try and counterpick against specific teams. So Vortex, to start things off, is a really interesting one. I remember discovering this map, and I hated it. It's horrible. It's terrible. I get that there's a specific line you can take to be consistent. I can't find it. I can't.
Well, the trick is you have to counter steer against the spinners.
I haven't got to the finish line yet.
I'm pretty sure you're going to get an object lesson in exactly how to get to the finish line of Vortex here in this one, because I would imagine that at the very least Alternate aTTaX are going to look quite good coming in on this one. The question again being, you know, how practiced do their opponents look here? How ready are HOMYNO TSUN for that? Because Vortex banned away in our last match. I can't remember if it was HOMYNO TSUN or if it was Ascent who actually banned it, but one of them banned it away. And if it was in fact HOMYNO TSUN, then maybe this is something they start to get nervous about. I would imagine they've gone for the same ban twice, so it was probably Ascent who banned it last time
ban,
around.
so it would have been Ascent. Yeah, it seems that way.
Other way around. Second ban is the blue team, so it was HOMYNO TSUN.
Okay, yeah.
Who banned it away.
Okay, well, that'll be interesting.
So HOMYNO TSUN banned it away in their first match, choose to let it through in their second match. and it immediately gets picked. So I guess we'll see how this goes.
Yes, indeed. Let's find out now. Obviously, if alternate attacks are picking it first, that's a surefire sign that they are comfortable on this one, which is, I mean, look, here's the thing, right? We saw only really one team with something like arrow pipes going, you know, we're comfortable on this one, we want to play it. That was Exalty. They weren't as comfortable as it made them, you know, they made out to be. But either way, when you pick one of these out of meta maps to be really, you know, comfortable on, this is what happens, is suddenly nobody's anywhere near you, because this HOMYNO TSUN will not have practiced this. Not even remotely as much as alternate attacks. Alternate attacks have picked a map where they're like, nobody's going to pick it. Let's just go for it. Let's get really good at this.
Yeah, and like, I mean, look, the minor issue with that being that it does get banned away then. Every week after week one, the teams are like, we haven't learned Vortex, and alternate attacks are very, very quick on it. Let's not let them play it. With the upside of that being the upside of pick bans and a forced ban in every game, right? It is a forced ban. If teams have to ban Vortex against you, they're not banning anything else.
Yeah, world record here set by Muda is 105.313. That is the time to beat, and it looks like it may just be possible here for alternate attacks. You can see him slip and slide in there through. It is clean. This is actually really impressive here from alternate attacks. We know them as a consistent team, but that's really good. A really nice way to start things off within a second of the world record, and no mistakes from either player.
Yeah, if he's going
I think
to make
map
it to the
1's
line,
going to be pretty quick. I don't know.
I think we're going to be out of here, potentially with our second 12-0. Enner is going to pull a Twiggy and not quite make it to the end of Vortex here in the first round. But Wosal and Skandir, statement first round within a second of that world record, as we kind of see the Challenger League being. But I could see them getting a lot closer to that world record even over the course of this first map.
Yeah, alternate attacks look scary. It's only been one round, and you can just get that feeling.
I'm still scared.
Yeah.
And, I mean, look, it is a little bit, because you can tell, even over that first pipe, HOMYNO TSUN have not played this map a lot. Like, it's... That first pipe, it is a difficult trick, right? It is a little bit, you know, kind of Royale style.
Yeah, exactly.
Having to
you need to put your car in a specific position. You need to counter steer, obviously. Unfortunate. Reactors.
But it's very doable, right? And it's something that you would expect these teams, after a few weeks of practice, to have down. And the fact that HOMYNO TSUN consistently are losing one player, and most often Feed, off that first pipe, does kind of suggest that maybe he's not played the map as much as some of the other players in Challenger League.
Yeah, which is completely understandable. There's a lot of maps going around. Obviously, you're going to, as a team, have specific maps that you like, that you want to pick, and then some that you don't want to ban at the very least. This is one that they want to ban. It's as simple as that, and there's no shame in not being good at every single map. You just need to make sure that you're not coming up against a team that is much better than you at it. This time around, Skandir makes a mistake, but alternate attacks still make it 4-1 in the score. Sorry, not 4-1. 5-1 in the scoring.
And the 5-1 scoreline is tough to come back from. It's very, very, very rarely done. An ace into a round win is enough to catapult you without your outside ace range from your opponents, actually bringing them directly back into the map. And that's a scary place to be after only 2 rounds.
It is indeed. Oh, Skandir. Oh, okay, that's fine. He looked so far outside of the line that I thought he was going to fall off, but it's all good. He is well in first place. In fact, everybody gets through the first pipe unscathed this time around, which means we're going to have a little bit more of a competitive round going on. Skandir and Enner contending with each other for first position. Enner, the only player going for an outside turn there. And the fact that I think, obviously we've talked about it so many times already, but the fact that the 2 players from the team are going for different lines shows you how little, how little they practice compared to alternate attacks, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Those shared lines are, as you say, a really good indicator of how much time a team is putting into the map. Because maybe one player puts time into a map, but unless you as a team have the decision that this is a map that you are planning on visiting, you won't have shared the lines as much. You won't be as ready to drive the same way that your teammate is driving. And you saw that distance, as you said, Twiggy. It's very nice to point out. Yeah,
well, Enner in third position, not far enough away that a mistake notwithstanding could get him back into standings, but Skandir and Wosal, they're quick here. A 106.4, another solid time. Alternate attacks looking real good on Vortex. It doesn't look like there's any way for HOMYNO TSUN to get into this one.
And I mean, look, it's a much better time again from Henry. He's down to a 106.7. He's improved on his time from the previous round. He's down below 107, but alternate attacks just have the pace right now. 106.4 is good enough. 106.6 directly behind that as well. An 8-1 scoreline. Alternate attacks, they are going to start their season off in style.
Yeah, this is really, really a good way to start things as well. If you're picking a map like this that you're so good at to start off with, that's a really nice way to gain momentum into a series. If you're going to absolutely dominate the other team on the first map, I just puts them in a not very nice mental state. It's like, oh god, here we go. This is going to be a long series, you know? At the very least, it can boost your confidence quite a lot, and that is really important in Trackmania. I think that's understated, that the amount or the role that confidence and
flow state.
Yeah, exactly. The role it plays, because obviously you're driving the same line over and over again, just trying to optimize it as much as possible. Getting into a flow state is so important for that.
Yeah, once you start to get inside your own head and you overthink your turns, because it's usually not a very big motion that you have to make, so overthinking a little bit too much in either direction can start to be absolutely brutal. With that said, he's still here, is still within striking distance, but relying on a mistake from alternate attacks has very, very rarely been a winning strategy. It will not be so in this case. Another ace. 3 in the opening map for alternate attacks to close things out 11-1.
Well, I'm sure every other team is going to be looking at this and going, we're banning Vortex. From now on, I think that's probably... Well, you never know. We haven't really seen any other teams' map pools so far. We can't make any inferences based off of that. So I think a lot of teams... Well, unless you are well practiced on Vortex, you're going to be looking at that and going, okay, we're banning that immediately. But the problem with that is, if a team's really good at a track and you're just not, like, great at it, is there's other tracks that you're probably bad at and thinking, but we want to insta-ban that. So now we've got to choose whether we ban something because the other team is better at it, or we ban it because we're bad at it. Yeah, exactly.
Or we also go and get really good at Vortex. There's that kind of arms race a little bit.
Yeah.
Which we'll see how it plays out over the course of the season. Of course, as we hit week 7 towards playoffs, you expect players to be mostly practiced on most of the maps, but in some ways, last season, the map pool was a little bit artificially limited to 9. You know, Gyroscope just never getting played. There was the fact that you had, that's rough. You had, maybe.
I don't know about that one.
It was just a checkpoint.
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose. You know, it was just awkward.
I think if you're looking for wicked points to be on purpose, Twiggy, we're going to be here most of the season.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be fully on purpose. I'm just saying that was just not an optimal line, and it ended in the car flipping around. No. I say what goes when it comes to the Wicked Champ. It is my Wicked Championship. I will
take my ball and go home.
People are starting to think they have power over me. They're voting for it. Well, Wosal all feed with it's a slower line, but it gets him in first place. Wosal can't quite catch up. A 106.1 to start things off is very nice for HOMYNO TSUN. They're looking a little more comfortable on their map pick here, and Pool is one of those maps where players are feeling comfortable. Fine, I will give them a wicked point, okay?
It's a wicked point. Yeah, Kem threatening to ban in chat is all that it took to get the wicked point across the line there, and that's maybe a little bit too much power to put into the mod's hands. So I don't know. Maybe we just won't give in next time around. But it's a 1-1 score after round 1, after a very, very good snipe through the identity, and both teams looking ready to play here on Pool. That's worrying for HOMYNO TSUN, because when alternate attacks come ready to play, they very rarely make mistakes. I cannot stress enough how consistent Skandir as a player was last stage, the most consistent player in Grand League and Challenger League combined. His pace, maybe not quite challenging the top of Grand League, but it definitely was good enough for mid-Grand League most of the time, and when you combine that consistency with that level of pace, he is an unstoppable force here in the Challenger League.
Exactly, and I think that is more intimidating than a player that can put together really good times but isn't as consistent. You can see the safe line from Enna there, but Skandir and Wosal take way more speed on through. Enna has a bit too tight of a line, goes well out. Feed is far enough behind now that it's insanely simple for Skandir and Wosal to hold hands through to the finish. Both players with a 105.6. Really impressive. Alternate attacks staying... Aww. Gave his teammate third place. Very nice. Both players looking just as well prepared as they were last season.
Yeah, 105.6 is definitely the best time that we've seen yet on Pool, on the Challenger League. Not overall, but only half a second off of the Grand League. When all day long, we've been seeing that gap sit at about a second for the most part. Shows you just how quick alternate attacks are on this map.
Yep. Now, it is all about just keeping up that pressure, keeping up the momentum, and making sure that you stay in the driver's seat the whole time around. That's not a great way to do it. Scandir, just after we were talking about his consistency, does...
Classic caster curse.
Yeah, exactly. Clip the edge of the track, falls out, has to respawn. A large difference between him and first place. Now, Wosal stays in first and is going to try and keep that 3-point lead away from Enna and Fee.
Be just trying to hold it off because, well, you don't want to give HOMYNO TSUN a way back into this match. You don't really want to give any of the Challenger Leagues a way back in because at this point, with a season of competition under their belt, most of them will be able to take it back and manage to make you pay for it. Wosal is holding off Enna at the moment, though, and with one final turn to go, Enna with a little bit of a slide out there, has readjusted, is going very wide, and that was Wosal catching himself drifting in the water. Enna with a 105.7 feet, half a second behind, and mistakes from both alternate attacks players means an 8 straight back.
All right, then. We've got a match on our hands. Okay, 4-4 now. We were thinking alternate attacks might just be running away with things, but it seems like, well, they're not infallible either. And a couple of mistakes gives HOMYNO TSUN that round.
And we were talking in the last map a lot about, you know, how seeing team lines and seeing how they're practiced can maybe tell you about how much team has practiced the map together. HOMYNO TSUN, they picked this map. They obviously feel confident on it. They're still taking very different lines through the identity. And I'm interested. I'd love to talk to the players. I'd love to know if there's a strategic decision going on there. One player taking a safer line, one going riskier. If that is just lines that the players feel more comfortable with, what exactly is the plan there?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, that inside line is a lot safer generally. You're going to lose a lot of speed on the exit, but there's less chance of you slamming into a box on the outside of this turn here. So we'll see. Yeah, Enna seems to always go for that inside line and tries to just keep it as safe as possible. Scandir slides out in the water there. Wosal now just trying to catch up to Enna, but has to keep it just about as safe as his opposition. Won't be able to catch up towards the end. It's close. Not quite enough, though. 105.6. We're staying real close to those Grand League times here.
And it is, again, very quick. And if we're going to praise alternate attacks for it, we have to praise Enna for it as well. Looking very, very practiced here on Pool. And, well, if it wasn't for a feed mistake there as well in the identity, a worse one, unfortunately, than Scandir's, that could have been a round win for HOMYNO TSUN. That could have given them the lead back in this map, too, as they look to tie the score back up in the series.
Yeah, well, HOMYNO TSUN now, they really do need to take this one back. Obviously, with their map pick being Pool, it's going to be important to just make sure that alternate attacks aren't taking unnecessary points away from you in the series. And right now, looking all good. Feed and Enna in first and second position, but it all comes down to exit speed on all of these turns. It's really important that you just get the right angle coming out of all of them here. The right angle out of this grass will give you more speed coming through into the dirt. The right angle going into the dirt, coming out of the dirt is going to give you good speed. Everybody stays real close to each other. Scandir goes over the edge a little bit and falls back into fourth position, but it's going to come down to these turns. Enna is going to drop into fourth position off the back of his line through there. Scandir and Wosal move up into first and second position. Can they keep that up? It looks clean from them, but not clean enough from Wosal, who clips the box, but Feed also clips that. Falls back into 105.5 to get first place there. Alternate attacks get a round win.
I'm so glad that we're back, that we have Challenger League again, that Stage 2 is here, because it's week 1, and the rounds are already tense. Yeah. And Enna's safer line just keeps them in the running all the way up to the finish line. Drops about 2/10 ultimately, but 2/10 to what was an incredibly quick time by Scandir up at the front. And if Feed keeps a little bit cleaner there, again, this round pivots on an individual mistake. Maybe not even a mistake, just an individual line choice, just one player making the smallest of errors, and you love to see it. Honestly, fantastic. And HOMYNO TSUN, they cannot win on this round, but they can deny alternate attacks, and Wosal will do a little bit of work himself denying alternate attacks, the ace in the win this round.
Yeah, just a tiny wall clip there loses him a gear and a bunch of speed. Now Feed and Enna trying to catch up to Scandir, who has really just been the linchpin for alternate aTTaX all the way through the Challenger League so far. A little less speed coming into this one. Gets a good line, and oh dear, Feed, he's not made it as cleanly through. He's clipped the edge, and that is why Enna goes for these more safe lines. He's going to make sure he gets second. That's the important part. But Wosal has overtaken Feed in third position. Gets alternate aTTaX another round win and a 105.4. We're getting closer and closer to that world record standing.
That's so quick from Scandir as well. Look, his consistency is what we talk about the most, because that is the most impressive part of his play.
Yeah.
But this is a reminder that Scandir is very, very quick as well. And, well, here it is in this map. And it's now time to talk about it. It's a 9-7 scoreline, Twiggy. That means a guaranteed winner on this round.
Yeah, indeed. Nothing stops this map from ending here. Anything apart from an ace will give alternate aTTaX that win. But if it is an ace for HOMYNO TSUN, they take the map away. It doesn't look like that's possible right now. Enna falling back by 6 seconds. Feed has also fallen back. Scandir has also fallen back. It's just Wosal in first position now. We'll see if he can just keep it clean through to the very end. Obviously, maybe he will take Enna's line just to make sure he doesn't clip anything on that final few turns in the identity. But for now, it looks like it's over on this map. Alternate aTTaX have gone ahead and done it. As long as Wosal just keeps it all the way clean. He's going for a risky line still. he does not care. Obviously, if it's in your muscle memory, oh no, oh dear, oh well, it's still fine. All they need is 1 point. He gives away first position, but it's okay.
I thought he was still going to pick up the win somehow, but no,
somehow,
not quite. He doesn't have the speed at the very end, and that does mean that Feed will take the win. Enter will come in fourth, though, and that means with a draw, alternate aTTaX do pick up map 2 of the match. They move to 2-0. That was HOMYNO TSUN's pick, and HOMYNO TSUN did not look prepared for alternate aTTaX's first pick. Sure, it was Vortex. Sure, it was very scary. Sure, as we head to map 3, it is going to be control, and we have already seen HOMYNO TSUN play that map. But they did lose on that map, and I am now very nervous for them. It's starting to look like we are about to drop to the 3-0, the necessary reverse sweep situation for HOMYNO TSUN to bring this map back.
Yeah, alternate aTTaX now picking control, and it looks like they are picking some of these maps which are less kind of favored by other teams. It looks like that is the strategy for alternate aTTaX so far.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, if it works, it works, and most things alternate aTTaX try seem to work based on their results last season, because they put a lot of time into this practice, and they are very, very good drivers as well.
Indeed. Well, Scandir and Feed in first and second position for the time being. Wosal and Enna both making mistakes. Scandir clips a wheel. It looks like it's going to be a very silly first round. A very, very silly first round. Feed still yet to make a mistake. The only player so far who has not fallen back. Oh, a little wheel clip. There we go. Okay, now everybody is equalized. Okay, everybody has made at least a tiny mistake. And Wosal takes back first position. Okay, Feed is going to just slam into a wall as well. If there were any doubts about the standing of things, there we go. Now Wosal and Scandir in first and second place. Look, it's the first round. Let's just let it happen. Let's just let it happen. Let it completely wash over us like a calm breeze.
It's just very relaxing so far. Look, a lovely never mind, that's a crash. Wosal is going to drop back a little bit. No, never mind. Sorry, he's fine. That wasn't a crash.
No.
I don't know what I'm saying. I looked back and lost my mind briefly there, Twiggy.
Well, a 112 is a time to start things off on control. It definitely is a time. But hey, look, first round, we're not going to hold anything against the players. I could not set a 112 if I tried, so there you go.
It's yeah, it's still nice. I mean, it's in some ways kind of exactly how I predicted this would go. We're just probably we are in a pause. We're in a quick pause, and do you know what, Twiggy? We managed to avoid casting it, and I'm very proud of us for that.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that they weren't moving, and then I was like, yeah, that probably not.
Pretty big giveaway.
Yeah, not a good idea to cast that. Either way, you get to look at our beautiful faces for a little longer, don't you? I'm sorry, that was way too confident of me. I shouldn't do that again.
Live your truth, Twiggy. Yeah. You know what? Obviously, at least one of us here is beautiful, and I don't know which one of it is. Again, up to chat to decide. Shouldn't have said that. It's not going to end in my favor.
Are you trying to gaslight chat? What's going on here?
No, I'm just trying to reverse psychology and them into feeling bad for me and telling me I'm the beautiful one.
You are the beautiful one.
Oh, but Twiggy, so are you. And we've already agreed that there's only one beautiful one here. So maybe we're both half beautiful, and it's split between us. And there's no half points in this format, I'm afraid. And that, it means that can't be true.
Yeah.
Twiggy, there's a match going on.
Well, not currently.
It's not going on right now, but like there is one going on.
Yes.
And alternate attacks are picking up where they left off last season.
Yes, they definitely are. I mean, look, I had my doubts after the All-Stars Championship. I was like, you know what, they're obviously incredibly talented players. Washed, completely washed, terrible, both of them. They don't deserve to be in there. I was like, this is not the same alternate attacks. They don't seem as well prepared, and that was because they had been competing in a lot of different competitions with a lot of different map pools over the course of that gap between Stage 1 and Stage 2. They look well prepared now. I think they've spent a lot of their free time practicing for this one between All-Stars Championship and now. So yeah, they may just keep being that unstoppable force that they were in Stage 1.
Yeah, and well, there's also, and I don't know if you noticed this during pick ban, but we do have Sinuous as the 7th pick again.
Indeed.
So look, we're a long way off from getting it this time around, but if HOMYNO TSUN really step up here, maybe it's in controller, maybe it's in our next 4 maps or next 3 maps, and bring us all the way to Sinuous, and then alternate attacks turn out to have been practicing that a lot as well. Maybe we can get some more Sinuous world records in this match.
Maybe. It does seem like that is possible. I think the live world record is currently about what did we have, a 102.5 or something like that? So
102.515 is where we ended
yeah,
up.
I think we're about 8/10 away from the live world. Oh, sorry, from the online world record. So there is definitely time to be made up. There is room for improvement indeed. So we could see that happening. But we're back, and that first round has been reset. So alternate attacks, you don't get those 3 points. Unlucky.
There was just too much crashing. Honestly, refs review it.
When I said forget it, this isn't what I meant. But hey, you know what? We'll take it.
We cannot have this representative of a match between 2 Challenger League teams.
Yeah.
We're not sure exactly what the reason was. I'm assuming there were internet issues for at least one of the teams in that first round. Probably HOMYNO TSUN, since they were the team that lost and we have had the points. Reset. It will be a clean slate as we start things off again on control.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like HOMYNO TSUN. Well. Either way, alternate attacks
still... You can take the players out of the crashing round, but you can't take a crashing round out of the players.
Indeed. Yep, words. Skander and Wosal, first and second position. Feed hangs a wheel. It looks like it might just be the ace for alternate attacks once again. This time a more convincing one for sure. Let's see what the time is going to be. It's a good line from both of them. They're keeping it clean. That's exactly what we love to see in alternate attacks once again. I mean, it's really good from them.
Yeah, they're very, very quick. They're very, very practiced. They're going to cross the line with a 111 near flat.
1 second improvement over last round. Woo!
Look, this is what happens when you choose not to crash on as many turns as you can.
You don't get a wicked point for that feed. You do not get a wicked point for that. That is.
That was the most point turns. You might pass your driving test, but you won't get a wicked point.
You do not get one for that. That was the slowest reverse through the finish line I've ever seen in my life. Sorry, no cigar on that one. But either way,
Twiggy, I don't want to scare it off, but I have this image in my head of the potential first ever 15-0 of this format.
Technically possible. Either way, feed.
Alternate attacks, 3 more aces and we get there.
Yeah, that would the only ever 15-0 of Trackmania esports. Very cool. Either way, but that was just a technical issue, so they don't get those 3 points.
Yeah, but in terms of the 15-0 in my heart.
In my heart, yeah, exactly. Either way, Enna can try and deny that right now. Wosal in second position. Enna keeping up. It's a good exit off of the bobsleigh section there, but not quite enough speed through the end of that to keep up with his opposition. Feed down by 1.2 seconds. It's going to be important to just try and get some points out of the first couple of rounds here. If you let alternate attacks get away with a 6-0 start, that's not a nice way to start off the map.
Would be a very, very rough way to come back. We've already talked about how 5-1 is a brutal lead to try and come back from to start things off. 6-0 is by definition worse, and it's going to be 6-0. Enter will fly on out, crash headfirst into that hemisphere, and it is 111 again from Scandir. The king of consistency is back again to show us all how it's done 2 times within a tenth of each other, and they are both very, very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the alternate attacks we expected to see at the end of last stage. It's the alternate attacks we're seeing now. I'm very glad they have, patched up some of the gaps that were in their gameplay. Obviously, well, we didn't know how well they were playing Control at the All-Stars Championship, since it didn't appear in the All-Stars Championship. But here we are, and yeah, they're looking really impressive right now.
And unfortunately, at some point during that server reset, when the points were wiped, we have lost the points for the previous 2 maps. So alternate aTTaX, unfortunately, history will not.
Well, we're going to be here for a little longer, guys.
Yeah, we're going to play Sinuous, and then we're just going to wrap back around to the start or something.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. That's we're not going any further than we need to. Okay, the map scoreline is 2-0 to alternate aTTaX. It has not changed either way. Skandir and Wosal once again, first and second position. Enna this time a little closer to making it happen.
15-0.
15-0. 15-0. Skandir and Wosal sailing through with this one. It's looking all too easy for them to get this one done. It's a clean finish from both of them. Is it going to be another 111? It's an awkward line through the end, so no, not quite a 111 flat, but a 111.4. Very nice. Still almost within 1 second. No. If he got through to the end after doing that, that would have been wicked, but no.
If he bounced over the pipe and somehow managed to land it, absolutely would have been a wicked point. You're absolutely right, Twiggy. I can't fault you on your decision making.
Yeah, no, all good. Look, everybody we all want there to be lots of wicked points coming on through, but it doesn't happen all that often. The players are very serious. They're trying to win.
Yeah. Alternate aTTaX, we said it on Vortex, their first map pick. I'm going to say it again here on Control. They've got the pace. On the 2 maps that they've selected so far, they are incredibly quick and incredibly consistent. And in week 1, from a team that won last season and won off the back of being consistent but having the pace to back it as well, that's exactly what you want to see. And it's exactly what we were hoping to see, I think, in a lot of ways, out of this alternate aTTaX squad. HOMYNO TSUN, they're putting up a much better fight this round, but here's a turn where things could go wrong. They haven't. Feed holds on first place. They're still in the mix at the moment. Alternate aTTaX are gaining, though, and this section with no breaks is where you can really separate out the teams, and there goes Skandir and Wosal straight through back into the lead.
Man, it's impressive. Alternate aTTaX just keep it on clean. They haven't made really a single mistake in this whole map so far. Control looking real good for them. If Enna can get a better line here on the end, he could get that overtake done. It's looking good. Does he have more speed for the end? He gets it done! He does it! It's only by 7 thousandths, but he does it nonetheless. Splits the gap between Skandir and Wosal. Doesn't make a difference. Map's still over, but at least they got 1 point.
They get it on the board, and they prevent the only ever 15-0 of this Trackmania World Tour format. Absolutely monstrous performance, and honestly, a great time as well. Genuinely a really strong time to finish things off there, and maybe a little bit disappointing in the sense that that performance was there for HOMYNO TSUN. We saw in their previous match that they are capable of setting times like that, and it's unfortunate we didn't get a better showing from them on the map. But it does mean that we do now head into Airwalk, and we head into Off-Road. And on Off-Road, HOMYNO TSUN are staring down the barrel of a reverse sweep. They will need to pull off 4 maps in a row, ending it with Sinuous, if they want to beat alternate aTTaX to start their season off 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, this is a reality check, I think. Obviously, you come up against technically the lowest seed starting things off, and then you come up against the highest seed starting things off. There's going to be a difference in the way these maps turn out, and I think definitely a reality check for HOMYNO TSUN here, as alternate aTTaX just seem just as consistent. I mean, we're in week 1, game day 1, and they're still looking like the same alternate aTTaX that we saw in stage 1 after 7 weeks of practice in actual game time here. This time around, HOMYNO TSUN, let's see if they can get a few more points on the board here, get this map away from them. That's exactly what they need for the reverse sweep. Feed has made an early mistake. He falls back into 4th position, but Enna may just be able to get himself that draw standing. Enna with more speed. It's a 59.9 to start things off. A real convincing time, and it's exactly what he needs to get ahead of Skandir and Wosal. Make it a draw to start things off.
It's a strong end there from Enner. It's quicker through the identity, and that is exactly what HOMYNO TSUN need back onto their map pick. And it is, at the very least, one of the benefits of being the lower seed team. If you are facing down that reverse sweep necessities, you head to a map that you decided, one that you were comfortable on, that you put here in the 4th position in the map at a time when you were probably going to need it, honestly. And here it is, off-road, ready and waiting for HOMYNO TSUN. All of that said, it's only a draw, and they'll need to do a little bit better if they want to beat out alternate attacks.
It's very possible this round. So far, Feed and Enna in 1st and 2nd position, although Scandir with a little better ice slide may just be able to split that gap, and it looks like that is what is going to happen. Feed falls back into 3rd place, but it's definitely not a gap that you cannot make up towards the end. Takes a more outside line through the trees there. I think that was saving his own... that was wild. But he does fall back into 4th position, and Scandir may just be able to get that 1st coming on through. He's more speed than Enna through towards the end. It's going to be real tight. It's 2,000, but Enna still gets it done. A 59.8 this time is what it takes to get 1st position, but it's another draw.
This is what it takes to not even beat alternate attacks. Draw with them. You have to set your best time of the night, and you have to do it while holding Scandir off by 0.02 of a second. I mean, best of luck on the rest of the map, I guess.
Yeah, it's looking like a monumentous task here for HOMYNO TSUN, but, I mean, throughout the whole of Stage 1, if there was a team that could do that, they had the first reverse sweep of the Challenger League up against Sprout in that... Oh, wait, no, Sprout reverse sweep then.
Sprout reverse sweep now.
Yeah. At least they have a taste of what reverse sweeps are like, so maybe they can repeat the process, and, well, if people are going to... 2 people slide out on the ice at the same time? Wow. That was coordinated. I don't know what happened there, but
very
Feed,
different slide outs, you know.
Very different. Yeah, there was some oversteer and some understeer. Hey, let's teach people what oversteer and understeer are, shall we? Either way, Feed. Oh no! Oh, that's oversteer. That's oversteer right there. Oh, there's blocks everywhere. Oh, there's more trees. Oh god, the respawn. Oh god, the humanity. Alternate attacks with an ace out of nowhere.
It's a disaster. Yeah, it's an ace where the top 2 cars are separated by 4 seconds. Yeah. Also, Twiggy, I just realized there, we've been asking what the new cone is going to be in this season. There are some very fetching cubes.
There are some good cubes as well, yeah.
Some bright blue cubes hiding out in those off-road trees.
Yeah, there are some nice cubes. Yeah, if you want good luck, find your way through those trees, wind your way through, find a cube.
They're the magical cube fairies hiding in the trees.
Cube fairies, yes, I like that. Well, we sound like a conspiracy theorist. The cube fairies. They're influencing the outcome of our Challenger League games. Oh no, Feed, he got influenced by the Cube Fairy and fell back into 4th position. Scandir and Wosal now in 1st and 2nd place. Feed trying to keep up. Enna trying his best to get that, well, to stop alternate attacks from getting another ace out of absolutely nowhere. And with more speed, may just be able to get that one done. But again, you just have to avoid everything here and hope with that reactor booster that you can get a better line. Scandir, he falls out a little bit and just about hits that checkpoint, gets on through to the end. Another 59.8 from Wosal. Alternate attacks just keep pushing that gap.
Yeah, it's a much quicker map than we saw when HOMYNO TSUN were here against Ascent last time around. 59.8, not quite the norm just yet, but it's approaching it, and it feels like, well, it was okay to set a time of about 1 minute, 1 minute and a 10th last time around to win the round. You're down to a 59.9. Just full stop. You need to be at a 59.9 in most of these rounds in order to come away with a win.
Yeah, really, really impressive times from everybody involved, but obviously alternate attacks just seem that little bit more prepared coming into this one. Maybe some fatigue coming in through from HOMYNO TSUN, obviously after a 7-map series last time around against Ascent just an hour earlier. But, I mean, they're still seeming consistent. It's just up against a team like Alternate Attacks. That isn't enough. You need to just be fast all the time, which unfortunately is just not a... it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes. And Scandir now in first position. Wosal contending with Enna for that second place. It's looking like it's going to be over right here unless Enna can pull through a great identity through the trees here. Wosal stays in second position, but it's going to come down to 10th. It's a slightly suboptimal line. There's a respawn from Scandir. He falls into fourth place, and suddenly HOMYNO TSUN have a chance of getting back into this one.
It's not over just yet. It's still not over. Alternate attacks are very close to picking up this win. They are still just a single round win away from taking this entire match 4-0 in maps. But HOMYNO TSUN, they can afford a single win now. An ace, obviously much stronger, would tie them up. But a win for HOMYNO TSUN puts us into the 9-7 situation where HOMYNO TSUN would need an ace. So basically what it boils down to, Twiggy, is HOMYNO TSUN really need an ace at some point in the next 2 rounds.
Spam this sheep for HOMYNO TSUN reverse sweep. In chat, please, somebody get that done. I know it's going to take a little while to type that all out, but either way. Oh, feed! That's okay.
I think we're going to be done before we get...
Oh, Wosal, never mind! It's possible!
Not.
Scandir is way in first place, but there's a possibility here that there's the very least a draw. I don't know. That's pretty much all HOMYNO TSUN can hope for at this point. But Feed is down by 2 seconds to Wosal, which means that that's going to be real difficult to do. And Enna is not catching up to Scandir unless there's a massive mistake coming out on the identity here. And from Scandir, that is a rare sight to see. He looks like he's going to get through to the finish line unscathed. Enna right behind. Now it is up to Feed to try and catch up, and it's not happening. Wosal comes through in 3rd place, and alternate attacks close it out.
It is the end of the first day of Stage 2 of the Challenger League. Alternate attacks will pick it up cleanly. 4-0 over HOMYNO TSUN, who, it does have to be said, played 2 matches in a row here and managed to take a close win over Ascent in the first one, but ultimately are no real match for our alternate attacks, for our Stage 1 winners, for... I think I'm going to say it, Twiggy, our favorites for Stage 2 in many ways.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, when we came into Stage 1, I think they became our favorites very quickly, just through that consistency and through being able to set brilliant times over and over again. I think it's the same thing going on right now. Look, all the teams seem more prepared for this stage, but again, this is the PLAYDAY 1 kind of norm, is that there are some teams that have not practiced every map at all, and when a team like Alternate Attacks is picking off meta maps against you, it becomes very difficult to win a series, because they're going to get 1-2 maps on the trot, and then suddenly you're fighting just to get back into a series. So for HOMYNO TSUN, a good showing over the course of the day, but in the end, not enough to beat Alternate Attacks.
And with that said, while alternate attacks still look very, very good, while Scandir and Wosal are both still looking fantastic on the new tracks, let's not forget, last stage, Scandir was bulletproof in week 1. Like, literally did not make a mistake at any point over the course of week 1. Very different look today, right?
Yeah.
Still was very quick, still was very consistent, but was not that completely unstoppable form he was in at the start of last stage. And maybe then there's a little bit of room for a couple of upset wins. If you're a team that's looking to contest them in the regular season standings, maybe now is the time to try and sneak that win out from under them.
Definitely. Well, great start to the Challenger League Stage 2, obviously. I'm very happy. Sorry for my congested voice. I've been ill, so, you know, you're just going to have to deal with that one for today and tomorrow. But either way, it's all good. It's all good. We're here. We're having fun. And to be honest, look, things are starting out silly anyway, so look, it just lends itself.
We have invented cube tree fairies. And you know what? I am never letting go of that for the rest of the season. I love my cube tree fairies, and well, you can come back and listen to us talk about them a little bit more. Listen, come back tomorrow and we'll talk more about the tree fairies and the cubes and whatever else is going on off-road and all the rest of our maps. We'll be back same time, same place. That time is 7 p.m. CEST, and of course there will be more Challenger League. PLAYDAY 2 is on Saturday. That will kick off at, I want to say, 5 p.m. CEST, but I can't remember if 100% off the top of my head, and so you'll have to come back tomorrow now when I confirm that one way or another. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Well done again to HOMYNO TSUN for picking up that first win for Alternate Attacks, picking up the second match win of the night, and we will see you tomorrow for our second day of the Challenger League.